Property Source Radio, Steve Hausman, Pat Coyne, Alex, and our guest from Charlotte Appliance, Marcus Alexander, who is... You told me that you have a bit of a radio background, and I can kind of hear it in your voice. You're not afraid to be behind the microphone.
No. I as a kid, I really I listened to the radio all the time, and I knew Brother Weeze. I met him on a phone call. I called in trying to win a contest for some Buffalo Bills tickets. I was about 11 at the time, and Weeze really got off on the fact that I was a young kid calling in. I think I didn't fit his normal demographic. So he invited me down to the station, and after that, I was on his station several times during the '92 presidential election between Perot, Bush, and Clinton. Kind of acted as his young political advisor, and sent me to some Bills games and stuff, and that was cool. And then when I was in high school, I worked at WIRQ, which is a small FM radio station out of West Irondequoit High School. So I had a show out of there like 2 or 3 times a week, playing that heavy music from when we were kids.
Right, and you're still a headbanger, right?
A little bit.
Yeah, that's it. You're still a young guy.
I play music. So
do you?
Yeah, I'm a bass player, so I've played in several bands locally, and I've done everything from your standard pop rock, kind of just jam band to heavy metal and beyond.
You in a band right now?
I'm in between bands right now. A good friend of mine's coming back from Syracuse next month, and supposedly we're going to get jamming again. So I'm excited to get back to that. But
you're kind of a Nick and the Nice Guy sort of guy, because you have a big important job during the day and you just sort of jam on weekends.
Yeah, just something for fun, something to let off a little steam once in a while.
Cool. Charlotte Appliance, of course, on Lake Avenue. Before we went to the break, I wanted to ask you about some trends in. And we'll stick in the kitchen first of all, because you said that's your area of expertise. What are you seeing these days?
Well, stainless steel. I mean, that's your number one thing.
See, my wife says you will never get stainless steel again. Well, because it's tough to keep clean.
It can be. There's ups and downs, I suppose, to any surface. There are stainless steels out there that are considered easy care or clean steel, which are much easier to clean and have kind of a finish on them that protects and hides fingerprints. One of the things about stainless steel, it's got a lot of nickel in it, and the nickel is shiny and bright, and when you touch it with your hands, you leave behind oils and things that are very easily reflected back, and it doesn't look very nice. So there are stainless steels out there that protect against that. There's really good cleaners out there that are kind of oil-based and will mix with the oils in your fingers so that it doesn't show as much, but stainless steel's the trend, and it's coming from all the high-grade professional stuff, the Vikings, the Wolves, the Thermadors, the things that are out there that a lot of people would like to have, but they don't want to spend $30,000 on their kitchen appliance.
So you think people are drawn to the big shiny stainless steel?
There's a little bit of shininess. It's like it's like having a diamond or something. I mean, it's pretty. It looks very nice.
It's like jewelry. That's why I got it.
It could be, but it also has that professional feel, and people that like to cook and like to have a more of a professional style kitchen appreciate the fact that they can now buy a package of appliances at a few $1,000s that might have been $15,000 only 15 or 20 years ago. So I think that's really a big trend, and I think a lot of agents, real estate agents, and people that come in, they're looking for houses that have those newer, updated kitchens, because a lot of customers, I mean, they want a nicer looking kitchen with nice appliances. They don't want to have to worry about that after the fact. And customers that do buy a house that don't have the nice stainless kitchen, it's usually one of the first things they do. So,
see, it's been 25 years since I've bought or sold a house. What is the policy now on your appliances in the house when you sell it or when you go to buy one?
Is your stove coal? Is that is it coal burner?
Yes, it is, but it works. Works fine. But I mean, can I bring my
man brings the block of ice?
The ice, and the milkman too. By the way, Julie's good friends with him.
You know what? From what I understand, my father was in real estate a very very long time, so I'm pretty familiar with the real estate market and Rochester and everything else. A lot of homes you still buy the appliances for as little as $1. It's not that the appliances become something that you can use in washer and dryer sometimes, but it may not be something you can use as a bargaining tool, except in the fact that if the appliances are already done, you can probably hold the price that you've asked for or hold closer to it. People aren't going to necessarily offer you extra money for the appliances. They're going to expect you to include them, but it'll add value to the kitchen and add value to the home just walking in and seeing it that way. So as far as I know, it's still not a big negotiating tool, so to speak, except to say that, a nice kitchen with appliances already set up that look great is going to help sell your home, period.
Let's break it down to brass taxes.
Go ahead.
Since some of us are cooks in the room, let's start off with an appliance called the stove. Give me a number. I want a price point of the lowest, most cost-effective stove that you guys could supply, and the most expensive stove I could get my hands on, and tell me the brand. I know you guys carry Wolf, but I want to know.
Yeah. if I was going to go for a nice stove, something with self-cleaning oven, at least a reasonable power on the top, you're probably going to spend between $500 and $600 to start with, and that could be even in a stainless steel. Frigidaire offers a great model at about $500 and
So about the starting point,
maybe.
lowest cost stove is about $500.
Yeah, between $500 and $600 depending. And then
I couldn't get a $299.
Well, $299 you could get a stove that'll work, and that would be more of a builder grade or something you'd see in like one of these rental properties or something around town. White, no window, self cleaning, maybe just steel grates with very low power. But at a $500 or $600 price point, you can get something that has cast iron grates. It has a 5 cubic foot self cleaning oven. You'll have a choice of a glass ceramic top or gas top. So you've got some real buying power at $500 or $600. If you want to jump up to what the nicest stoves are, I mean, there's some that are out there that I don't carry, some French-made La Cornue and things that are $60,000. But the most expensive that I carry is probably the Wolf or the Thermador, in which case if you're going up to a size like a 36, a 48, a 60 inch, you can spend anywhere from $7,000 or $8,000 up to maybe $15,000.
So about $15,000 is about the highest one I could find if I want.
I've got two on the floor right now that are $12,000 each. So
so
we've got some expensive stuff.
That's cool.
And what about? We have to take a break, but I want to ask you about cooktops and the advantage of that as opposed to a whole stove.
Well, the advantage to a cooktop is it can go a lot of places maybe a stove wouldn't. You can do a 36-inch top, probably a little easier and certainly less expensive than a 36-inch range would go for. The other advantage is that a built-in look, especially in a custom kitchen with nice cabinets, nice counters, can provide a very nice and attractive look to buyers or just to the person living in the home.
Day-to-day.
So, in your day-to-day life. Plus, most people that do a cooktop, they get a wall oven. In a lot of cases, it's a double wall oven.
Right.
So now instead of having a single range with 4 burners and one oven, you've got 5 or 6 burners on a cooktop, and you've got a double wall oven. So you've got
a
2 ovens.
convection oven.
Convection. Sure, there's all kinds of bells and whistles out there that people really like, and they can be really useful. Holiday time, it's huge. To have 2 ovens and be able to put out Thanksgiving in a faster time is nice. You save time in the kitchen and spend more time with your family.
But the separate appliances, I have the 2-wall unit.
The wall oven, yep.
And it's white. And my wife and I were like, let's get stainless steel to match the other 2
Yeah, you
stuff.
got to come down and see me.
I know. and I got a white Thermador cooktop too.
Okay, all right.
But the problem is those 2 separate are a fortune.
Sure.
Versus one piece together.
It's certainly more expensive to buy the built-in appliances. But again, you're buying it somewhat for the look, and you're also buying it for the power and for the convenience, and because your wife loves it.
Well,
that's the
I know.
important thing.
I know. That's
what it's all
good.
That leads me to the next question, and I'll ask you that as soon as we come back from this next break about bundling your appliances, because I know you guys are big on that. I want to find the advantage of that when we come back.
Right.
Marcus Alexander is our guest from Charlotte Appliance. It's Property Source Radio. Still a ways to go. We'll be here till 10 o'clock at Sports Radio 950 ESPN.